Now, the biggest challenge, we believe, to the election is the massive logistical exercise that I think you referred to. And it's really their electoral commission, CENI, that is facing this big challenge, along with its partners of the international community that are working hand in hand with it. As many of you know, there are 500 legislative seats that are up for grabs, that are up for election in the country. And as we understand right now, there is approximately 19,000 candidates for those positions. If you do your math, sometimes none of us can do math if we're doing all this kind of stuff, so you can see that that is going to present just an enormous challenge in even printing the ballots. There is one legislative position that has 1,500 candidates that have applied. So this is one of the areas that is very, very difficult to address. And as I walked into the bowels, if you will, of the CENI, I could see the amount of work that was being put into just printing these ballots and making sure that they were complete. And I think one can discuss the validity of having such a huge number of people present themselves as candidates, and why that, and basically it was accepted that everybody that presented themselves as candidates was allowed to be a candidate. You know, where do you draw the line if this is a democratic system? So that's the one issue. The second issue is getting the ballots to the right place at the right time. We all know that Congo is a very large country, very large territory. I came to understand that Congo is as wide as the United States east of the Mississippi. And it takes you about 2 months or longer to cross that country by land, which then points out the difficulty in the existing infrastructure in the country. There really are very few roads, almost very few that are paved at all. So these issues become, from the logistic perspective, very difficult ones to overcome. We have publicly condemned, and we will continue to condemn, any election-related violence. And we encourage constructive dialogue among the candidates, particularly in the resolution of electoral disputes. This is the contesting of the elections always becomes one of the concerns that, that takes place. We've called on all candidates to publicly denounce any violence and to denounce electoral fraud. The messages that they themselves send out will be important ones that can help determine to some degree the outcome of these factors in the election. Of course, there's no place for violence if you're carrying out a democratic process in the DRC or anywhere else.